Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of the Channel 8 podcast. I'm your host, Sean Go, and we have the pleasure of having on the show today one of the OGs from the Toronto sneaker scene, 1/3 of Canada Got Soul, a good friend, and an even better father, Joel Hernandez, aka JO DOONEY. How's
Hey,
it going,
what's up,
man?
man? What's going on, man? Thanks for having
Long,
me.
long time. I have not seen you or
I
heard from you in a
know
while, yo.
I've been ghost, man. I've been hiding low key.
You've been good, though? What's been keeping you busy these days?
Oh man, like it's just life in general, like just taking it as it comes and watching my boy grow and whatever, but that's it. Just taking it as it comes, dude.
Yeah, and like I was talking to you earlier, you've been kind of MIA on social media, so I haven't really seen what shoes you've been wearing or any pickups. So share with our listeners, like what has been on your feet in the past couple weeks.
All right. So what I do for a living, it's not too exciting, but what I do for a living, I work in a warehouse, so it's a lot of steel toe boots. But what I wear going to work, um, like on the daily, it would probably most likely be whatever's at the door. And what I have at the door is like I got a pair of Skylines, like the it's like the purple pink pair. The CGS fam, we all picked it up down in Florida during our trip like a couple years ago. But yeah, I got that by the door. I've been rocking those. My go-tos is pretty much is like whatever's comfortable for me. 8 hours a day. I'm in steel toes, so it's whatever's comfortable. I got New Balance up by the door. I got flip flops. I got slides. The Addy Preem joints and so it's like whatever's there, yo.
Yeah, man, after a long day of work, you got to have something comfortable to slip into, right?
Yeah, facts, man, facts.
So I took a week off, so I really haven't had much to go anywhere. I've been kind of just chilling at home, so my rotation's been pretty light. I wore the New Balance 2002 R, the white and lagoon pair, which is like the white, blue, and yellow pair I reviewed not too long ago.
Yeah.
Also on my rotation has been the cream clay Yeezy foam runners, which definitely has been catching a lot of eyes for good and bad, probably. And just my shoe by the door when I throw out garbage and stuff like that is the Wolf Gray Flyknit Roshi 2.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
Yeah,
bringing
nice,
back the
man.
Roshis, man.
That's it, yo. We'll get into that.
In terms of sneaker pickups, I don't know, have you bought anything in the past while? Or
Actually, I got a pair from Soul Stop not too long ago, and maybe I'll post it up. But it's the New Balance 992s. It's the burgundy with that chenille yellow N.
yep.
Yeah, that's the one that I picked up just recently. It just came in like a couple days ago, from Soul Stop. So, but yeah, man, that's my recent pickup. Other than that, like just car parts for the car and whatever, man. Like
Priorities, man. You got to take care of your
yeah,
priorities. I hear you.
that's it. Yeah.
Like right now, my condo, the floor is getting gutted because there's like a bit of a flood from the air conditioning unit. So that's been fortunately our insurance covered that, but that
Yeah,
explains
yeah.
the extra messy shoebox situation behind me right now.
True. Yeah, man. It's crazy. At least you get new floors.
Yeah, definitely get new floors. It's been probably 6 years that I've lived here, so
Yeah.
it's a good time to switch things up. In terms of my sneaker pickups, so it's been a pretty heavy week for me. I started off the week picking up a pair of the Adidas Futurecraft 4D in that OG black and green colorway. I picked up a pair of the Levi's New Balance 990 V3 in the Mallard Blue colorway, which I reviewed on my channel a couple days back. I also got a pair of the Slay Bembury New Balance 574 Yurt in the, I think
Okay.
it's like
Yeah.
the multicolor or like navy, olive, and red colorway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
also posted a review on that one as well. Um, Moving on, I got the Collegium Pillar Destroyer 2 Devastators in the Platinum Suede colorway. So another shout out goes out to Nick from Collegium for holding it down. And then what else? I got the Georgetown Dunk Lows
Ooh.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Quality, unfortunately, is terrible as usual. With all these GR Nike sportswear dunks, they're just terrible quality, but
Oh dang.
we'll save
Yeah.
that for another day.
Uh-huh.
On a good quality note, I got the Pata Air Max 1s in the Monarch colorway. Fire. Did you get
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I tried, man. I tried, but just pure L's. My selection wasn't taken or whatever it is that email that you get from
Yeah, yeah.
sneakers. But yeah, I tried, but no, swinging a
Hopefully,
miss.
like hopefully the prices go down and you can scoop one up because I know you're
Yeah,
huge on Air
hopefully.
Maxes.
I
So,
like the blue one though that's coming out.
oh yeah, yeah, that's a must.
That one's
That's
dope.
a
I'm gonna
must.
try. I'm gonna really try for those. But
That
yeah,
shade
man.
of blue
Hopefully.
is fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a mist blue kind of.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know.
And then my last pair I got, waiting in the mail for it, is the Sakai Clot Collab on the LD Waffle in that gray colorway.
Nice, nice.
So that's been my week. Pretty heavy, all things considered. But enough about me. I want our listeners to know more about you and to learn about you through our channel flipping segment, which is a rapid fire Q&A session where I give you two options to choose from and you pick the one option you're feeling the most.
All right, cool.
You
Let's
ready?
go. Let's go.
All right. First question. Better song, Run DMC's My Adidas or Nelly's Air Force Ones?
Oh, come on, man. My Adidas, yo.
Yo, you're showing your OG colors right there.
That's it, yeah. My Adidas, yo. My Adidas.
Air Max or Nike Dunks?
That's hard. That's a tough one. I'm torn. But I'm
You
gonna
gotta
have to
pick.
say I'm gonna have to say Air Max.
Okay,
Air
I
Max.
figured, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If we're talking about OG Air Max ones, are you picking the white and red or the white and royal blue?
I gotta go with the white and red staple. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I gotta go with the white and red.
Air Max 1 Atmos Elephant or Air Max 1 Atmos Safari?
Oh, that's tough. I gotta probably say the elephant print. That jade, it just hits, it just slaps. So, and elephant print, you can't go wrong with elephant print.
Hmm.
So
Yep,
yeah,
that's
we're gonna
true.
have to go with those.
I
Yeah.
agree with you on that one too.
Mm.
Better Nike collaborations, Futura or Stash?
Oh, that's tough. Wow, these questions. Um, I'm gonna have to say Stash because my boy's like heavy into graph, but so is Futura. But I like Stash. I like his joints. His joints are pretty proper, and like the waterproof Gore-Tex joints that he dropped with the 95s. Come on, man. Who does that? Like who thinks about that?
No,
But
yeah.
yeah, Stash all the way.
And I know you did a Nike ID or Nike by You, like the Air Max 1, which
Yeah,
I replicated because of
yeah, yeah,
yours.
yeah. For real, man. Yeah, I did those. Those were like an ode to the Stash true colors, like the white and the gray and the blue, and sort of like the hits of the gradient blues and stuff. So yeah, man, just a little salute to Stash.
No, that ID is still one of my favorites too, man. So you did a
Oh,
crazy
cool,
job on
cool,
that.
awesome, man. I remember when you hit me up. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, man, go for it, do it, man. I'd
I
be
was like,
honored for you to
"Yo,
do it.
is it okay if I copy it?"
I was like, do it, man, do it, do it. Yeah, man, that's dope. Cool, man.
All right, moving on. SB Dunk Lows. We taking the purple pigeons or the baby bears?
Oh man, I like the baby bears because they're different. Like
Yeah.
that plush that you can't you don't see that on any shoe, and the way that the creative minds that brought that together,
Hmm.
I'd have to go baby bears. That whole baby bear line, like the mama bear, papa bear, like all that stuff, the highs and lows, mids, all
Do
the
you
way.
have all three of them or just the
No,
lows?
I just have the lows, just the
Ooh.
lows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the prices on those are through the roof now.
Oh
So
man, I love them, man. I love the colors on them, man.
yeah, such a good
So good,
pack.
so good.
All right, moving on. Next question. You taking fitted caps or snapbacks?
Ooh, fitteds. I'd have to go fitteds.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Next question. Choose one. You have to give up Nike or you give up every other brand.
Oh shoot. um, swoosh fan, man. I'd probably
Yeah.
have to give up every other brand. Sorry.
Sorry, New Balance.
Sorry, New Balance, Adidas.
What's
Yeah.
a better feeling for you? Undesing a shoe for the first time or getting a fresh fade?
Oh man. Probably a fresh fade.
Yeah.
Fresh fade like the pandemic nowadays. Yeah, like a fresh fade is proper.
It's
right
hard to
now.
beat that feeling, man. Once you
Yeah.
walk out of the barber or whatever, and
Yo, you're a movie star, man. You're looking for the red carpet as soon as you walk out of that barber shop.
until
And
like a week later, our Asian hair, then it becomes like,
all over the
yeah,
place.
exactly.
Man, like I'm eating, like I got a beard, right? So like I'm eating my beard, like ew, like what the fuck, like
Last question for you. What shoes do you think will have a higher chance of making a comeback? The Nike Flyknit Racer or the Nike Roshi?
Oh man, a comeback.
Yeah.
I would probably say with the way that trends are going right now, I'd probably say the racer, just because of the sleek look of it. Like when it was like banging, like everybody was rocking it. It's an ultimate like timepiece,
Yeah,
classic.
I hear you. And the
Yeah.
reason why, for those listening that don't know why I mentioned the Roshi, Joel and I actually met for the first time because of the Nike Roshi, but we'll get into that in
Yeah.
detail later on in this episode. But first off, so Mr. Joel Hernandez, Mr. OG, he's been someone I've looked up to as a sneaker collector for years now because when I started collecting shoes, he was already in the thick of things. So he's been in this game for a long, long time. So I want to pick your brain because I love hearing about like how things were in the past and not to make you sound like an old guy, but
No, not at all, man. Not at all.
I want to hear like, talk about your childhood. Like were you
Yeah.
raised in Toronto and like how did you get first exposed to streetwear and sneakers and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, man. Like when I was growing up, I grew up in on Lakeshore, 12th and Lakeshore to be exact. So it's in between like Kipling and Islington. Um, but yeah, everything was banging. Like I grew up in like when hip hop was hip hop, and that's how you were influenced with your style through the music and whatever you saw on like music videos and stuff like that. There was no social media. There was you could always go to magazines, but other than that, that's all you really had to influence your style was just through like people on the street, the music, whatever music you're into, and what you see on TV, like the television. And the what got me into going was like the whole scene that I was in. Like I was, like I said, I grew up on hip hop, and a lot of my boys were like they're either skaters or b-boys or whatever, and that sort of like started my influence on like styles and what would like get me going, that would spark my fire kind of thing to look into like lifestyles, like clothing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, man, like I said, there were b-boys and even, yeah, I guess the first time I ever saw like I guess an Air Max, like the way, like if I were to think about how my love for Air Maxes started, it would probably be with the whole like b-boy battles. Like I would go to like jams back in the day, and those were like being held at either like the basement of a church or like at a hall or whatever, and be easily accessed by like bus or like streetcar or like public transit, so that everybody and anybody can get to it. And it was like an all ages jam kind of thing. So you would have like the every hood has their b-boys and whatnot, and there's always like a battle cry and stuff like that. So we would always go to these jams, and it would be like this guy versus that guy, there this crew versus that crew, and it was dope because some of the guys that I hung out with that were like fam to me back then, it was like they were like heavy b-boys, and some of the guys that I see nowadays that have taken that dance further are like actually out in Korea teaching break dancing, that are like overseas or whatever. And it's just like amazing to see what had happened from like when growing up, and it had just blossomed to like it just blossomed to whatever. So but yeah, man, like I'm just rambling on. But yeah, like even seeing like for the Air Maxes, let me get back to the Air Maxes. But yeah, so what it was is it was like it was a battle, and there was this one dude that he was just killing it, like just breakdancing and whatever. And then I noticed on his feet, I'm like, yo, what are those red and white shoes? And I couldn't see it because it's dark. It was like a dark room, like the lights were just flickering, whatever. But then whenever the light would hit it proper, that's when you would see that he was rocking an Air Max One, and you
So
see the air bubble,
we're talking the white red
the white and
OGs.
red OGs, like the
Jeez.
red and white OGs from like '88. This is like I'm taking it back to like '89, maybe '90, pushing it. But yeah, he had like the '80, like the '87 '87 Air Max ones, and to see that just like floored me. And then I would see like further down, like further months down the road, I would see like I would go to another jam and there would be another like battle or whatever, and then I would see like the infrared 90s. So like all these shoes that would pop up that would catch my attention, that's when I was like, damn, what are those? Like I would truly get one of those. What are those? Like what I mean? But yeah, like that sort of like sparked everything from that point on.
And it's really amazing how, like, when you compare then to now, I feel like today's day and age, we're kind of almost spoon fed and told what is hyped and what you should like. Whereas back then, it's so organic. Like, you're just a kid, you
Yeah,
know, chilling with friends and watching these b-boys, and you
yeah.
just see something organically on someone's feet,
Mhm.
and that just draws you to it because it's something you genuinely like.
Yeah, and back then it was like a good taste of like something different because like I said, like I grew up on like the whole Run DMC, the whole Beastie Boys, the whole everything like that, and Adidas was heavy in my rotation. Like when I first started collecting, it was all about shell toes.
Mm,
Like what I mean, like Adidas, and then like I said, like I hung out with B boys, so it was Puma suedes, fat laces, like all that stuff, and to see an air bubble on a shoe, it was like mind blowing. Like what, like there's like WTF, like what the hell is that? Like. So it was something different, and to see that like in person, and like I'm like saying how old I am, but yeah, it's to see that in person and to like look at it, and it's just amazing, and that just hooked me, that just pulled me in, like he just reeled me in like a fish on a fishing hook, man.
so back then, I'd imagine like the shoes, like the infrared 90s, the white red Air Max ones. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, but they weren't limited. They weren't hard to get. Am I
Oh,
correct?
that I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they weren't hard to get at all, but they were hella expensive though,
Mm,
because
you're right.
back then, like 120 bucks was like, compared to now that's like 200-300 bucks, right? So, but yeah, they were around, but I guess the upper echelon or whatever
Mm,
that could
got it.
afford them, like they got them. So
So the shoes that you would rock, because you
yeah.
mentioned you wore a lot of Adidas. So
Mhm.
what kind of silhouette did you buy? Like, was it just a superstar, or did you
It was
venture into?
a lot of superstars. I had a lot of superstars. Red stripe, white stripe, green stripe, whatever stripe. Pro models I got into. Suedes, a lot of Puma suedes. I got a lot of laces. It's fat, super fat, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, and then when I started getting into the whole Nike thing, like that's where I remember the first shoe that I really wanted, but I just couldn't afford, that my dad couldn't afford because I was still a kid. Were the military fours. I really wanted them. I reached up. I remember it was at the National Sports, and that's when I don't know, they had them there. But yeah, it was at a National Sports, a local National Sports where I lived, and I reached up, and my dad, because my dad took me out shoe shopping because I got good marks or whatever. So they go, we get a pair of shoes. I'm like, okay. So I walked over and grabbed a pair of Jordans because I knew Jordans, right? So I grabbed a pair of Jordans. I'm like, I want these because they're blue and gray and whatever and white. They're just different, like. So I grabbed them, and then he looked at the price and he was like, "Oh man, you got to put those back, son." Like. So I ended up getting like Alpha Air Max ones. You know, with the straps at the
Yeah,
top. Yeah. So I ended up getting those, and I meant, oh man, I want to get an air bubble so bad, like. just the front on everybody else, like, I got an air bubble.
I feel like a lot of kids growing up kind of had like that similar experience where, because Jordans and Nikes were more premium priced,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
as kids, like
yeah.
our parents, especially like immigrant parents, they're not going to spend $100+ on a pair of sneakers that you're going to trash, right? So
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's facts. Because I remember even my dad, when my dad first came over, well, when he migrated here, his uncle, my uncle, his brother had sent him a pair of shoes from back home, like in Philippines, and I remember they were Jordans, but they were a different pair of Jordans, and they were like sort of like canvas. They were like the AJKOs.
Mm.
from back in the day, and I really wanted to wear them because I kept looking at them like, how come it doesn't say like Air Jordan on like the wings? Like, I'm looking at them like, how what's AJK or what is this? Like, And then I kept asking like, can I wear these to school? Can I wear these to school? Because they were size 9. And I was a size 9 back then, right? I was, can I wear these to school? He's like, no, you're crazy to wear those. And then when I got into the sneaker scene, like when I got into it, and then internet started popping on dial up and whatever. So I would go into Flight Club and I would look because I would see them on Nike Talk, people talking about them. So I go on Flight Club and I looked at the price of them, like the OG ones. Like, holy crap, 5 grand. Back then it was like 5 grand.
Yeah.
So then I called my dad. I was like, Dad, your shoes are like worth 5 grand. And then we pretty much emptied out the garage. We overhauled the garage looking for the shoes. And my mom, she worked at a Goodwill when I was growing up. So what happened was she ended up throwing them
Oh
in a
no.
donation bag, and she was like, "Oh no, the red and black ones, I donated those." And then me and my dad were like, "What the?" Like, oh man,
Well, I mean, bright side, hopefully some kid was able to enjoy them, right?
yeah, for real, vintage finds.
Kind of off topic and random, but I want to ask. So you went to Alderwood Collegiate, right?
No, I went to Humber. I went to Humber
Oh, you
College,
didn't.
Lakeshore, and then I went to Father Redmond High School.
Oh, okay, okay. Because was Alderwood
Yeah,
just in your hood, or?
Alderwood is I think that no, I was more south. More South Lakeshore. Lakeshore Collegiate was in my hood. Etobicoke Collegiate was in my hood.
Oh, okay, okay. Because for those listening, kind of random, but um, that school is now demolished, and they've built like a whole row of townhouses. And maybe like 8 years ago, I was kind of into urban exploring and all that stuff, and taking pictures in abandoned buildings and stuff like that. So yeah, like me and a homie of mine, we ventured into this school, which was at that
Oh,
point it was already closed.
it was a gym.
Yeah, it was a gym.
Yeah,
Like
that.
we.
Yeah. Okay, go on. Go on. I'll tell you. Well, the story is that used to be Alderwood Collegiate. Used to be Father Redmond. He's now I'm remembering because I remember your pictures.
Oh, that's
Alderwood
why.
Collegiate used to
Okay,
be Father John Redmond, and that's that school that you went into, that you ventured into. That was my school. Like I went to that school, and then that school moved. It actually
I
moved
see. I
because
see.
they had shut it down because the whole asbestos thing. Because I don't know
Oh
if you
crap.
remember looking around, there was like asbestos hanging from the roofs and stuff. Yeah, that's why they shut it down because of that. But yeah, like go on with the
Yeah, no,
story.
it was just really
Yeah,
dope experience. Just venturing through like an empty abandoned school. It was like kind of partially flooded, but we just took some really dope photos. Like I'll throw it up on the YouTube video version of this episode, but
yeah,
yeah, small world, man.
yeah. That's what because I remember the time when you had posted that, and I was like, "Isn't this Father Redmond?" And then you were like, "No, it's Alderwood Collegiate," and I was like, "No, it's Father Redmond." But I just remember now when you brought it up that they had switched the names because they had moved the school down to Kipling and Lakeshore. Now that's where it sits right now. So, but yeah, man, that's my school, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
small
was
ass
creepy.
world.
That's crazy.
So still on that topic about like your early days of sneaker collecting, like was there a point in time where you realized like the sneaker scene had changed? Like obviously things today aren't the way they were then, but at some point between then and now, things must have changed where you kind of realize, this isn't the same sneaker game that I lived through and enjoyed growing up.
When I think it was when Kanye had switched over to Adidas, and I think that's when they dropped the Yeezy line. I think that's when everything did sort of like a 180 to like a 360 almost kind of thing with the whole sneaker culture. Like in my eyes, in my opinion, the way that hype just driven like everybody's choice of purchasing kind of thing. So whatever was hype, that would be like the best seller, and you would just see prices just drive up, and like even trying to get products was like next to impossible. Still is next to impossible. But yeah, that's when I first noticed that, damn, like shit's gonna hit the fan, and certainly it did. Like because it was that whole movement of him moving over, it just changed everything. Like the hype just built up, and if you want to think about it, like that's when all the collaborators just started collaborating. That's when it's basically just went. went crazy with everybody just like
Mm.
teaming up with different brands and stuff. So, but yeah, I think that's when for me that's when the whole culture like moved for me was when the whole Yeezy one line dropped.
So I want to circle back. So I'd mentioned we had met through the Roshi One or the Roshi Run at the time. I want to give our listeners a backstory behind how we met. So
Yeah.
I believe this was 2011 or 12, 2012, probably something
Yeah,
like that.
probably that around that early 11,
Yo, it's
12, something
it's
like
probably
that.
been
Something
that means it's been a decade since I've met you, which is crazy.
crazy. Yo, mind blown,
Damn,
bro.
we're getting old.
Crazy, dude.
But
Wow.
so my ex at the time, she I believe worked with
Mhm.
Marco, who's a friend of yours,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I don't know how this happened, but I was trying to move a few pairs of Roshis, and you were in the market to buy them, and he just linked us up, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah, because we were the same size, and he was like, "Yo, I know a guy that's like, getting rid of some Roshis and stuff like that. So like, hit him up."
Yeah. So I think we met at the parking lot of was it Shareway
Yeah,
or
it was Sherway Gardens parking
Shareway?
lot. Yeah, dark
At night,
at night.
Joel comes out of his van,
Yeah, I had a
opens up the
van.
side door. He's like, "Yep, just throw the boxes in there."
I know. Here's the cash. Don't make eye contact.
Exactly, right? Not
no,
sketchy at
no,
all.
no, no, no.
But
Yeah,
tell me
man.
about your exposure to the Roshi. Like, how did that happen? How did you first hear about it, and what got you into it?
Well, I picked up my first pair. I think it was at a Champs at Square One or something like that. But I picked up the sale in black. It was black and sale, like the first one that they
Yeah,
dropped.
yeah. Did you hear about it on like Nike Talk first, or you literally just saw it
No,
on the
not at
shelf?
all. I just saw it. I saw it on the shelf, and then I just looked at it, and I was like, "Whoa, this looks really comfortable." Like, you
And I
know what
think
I
it was
mean?
like $80 or something back then, right?
Yeah, it was cheap. It was like $70, and like, or yeah, it was $80. It was $80, and I tried them on, and then I was like, sold. Like I'm walking out of the store with these shoes, man. Like, don't bother bagging these up. Like,
Yeah.
and that's when I was like, shit, these are pretty dope. And that's when I went back on Nike Talk. I started looking at them, and then that's when the whole wave started hitting on Nike Talk, like on the "What did you wear today" posts and stuff like that. So, and then I was like hooked, and I was like, yo, we don't get these colors here. Like there was like I think it was the iguana, and then the next colorway,
Yeah.
and then the
Calypso,
calypso joint. Yeah, I think that's the ones that I picked up off of you. And then I think it was the sport red ones.
Sport Red. Yep.
Yeah, that hooked me in because I was like, wow, look at this red and white one with that gray swoosh. I was like, come on, man, I gotta hit up Sean. See if he has these.
And do you feel like it was something like would you and your homies talk about the Roshi, or was it just
Oh
something
yeah,
you liked yourself and no one really talked about it?
no, like even like Alvin, like Q Mart, Mr. Q Mart got into it, and same with Lawrence. Lawrence got into the whole Roshi movement too. So it's like all of us were like, Alan too. Like Alan got into the Roshi, so it was just like wow, like like it's so comfortable, so affordable, like and the colors that they're dropping is just so dope. So and like the affordable, the price point
Yes, yes,
was like
yes.
the for sure thing. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
like
man,
$80 for a Nike
yeah,
is
and that's comfortable
yeah,
too.
like
Yeah,
for its time it was super like I'd
yeah,
never seen a shoe like that before, 'cause before
exactly.
that, so
Yeah.
2011, 2012, before that it was what, like I think Concords dropped in 2010,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
retro.
Yeah.
I don't even know what was like the new tech. But basically, long story short, like it really revolutionized what like sneakers could be. And I think the Roshi, I think Kanye even said it himself, like he drew inspiration from the 350 V1 from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Roshi,
Hmm.
having that sort of lightweight sock like upper with like a chunky, very cushioned
Yeah.
sole. So,
Cushion sole. Yep.
and I think was it Complex or something? They had the Roshi as one of the most influential, or it was like the shoe of the year for like
Shoe of
2012
the
or
year.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Something crazy. So it's like it was a no brainer, man. Like you comfort, like I said, comfort wise and price point sold. Like
Yeah. And I
but yeah,
remember
man.
they were even cheaper at Sivu Play.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
remember
They
that?
were. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So it's
They
probably
were
marked down
sitting
to
there.
like $60 or something
Yeah,
stupid cheap.
yeah, and you find them on the rack, and they're still
Exactly.
even cheaper still too.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, man, it's good times. Like, it's so different how things are now compared to then. Like, I don't think any shoe could become popular like that anymore in today's day and age.
just like that too, and the wave that it hit fast and
Very
quick,
fast. Yeah,
and I don't think, like you said, I don't think any shoe can do that.
yeah. There's just too much social media and these brands and collabs and like everyone's telling us what to like and what's hot and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
yeah,
the hype. Yeah,
yeah.
man, I hear you.
So, last question for you. I want to touch upon your role as a father. Obviously, like we've known each other for like 10 years. And the first time I met Jomar, your son, he was like this tiny little kid. And then now, like we were just talking, he's hitting his teenage years, going to be hitting high school soon.
Probably a deeper voice than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's 13 now, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy how time flies. But like, as a father, I know this culture, we're so obsessed with like consumerism and flaunting your pickups and showing off for clout and all that stuff. So is first of all, is Jomar even into sneakers and streetwear like you are? And if so, like how are you navigating like raising him and teaching him the ways to make sure that he's into sneakers for the right reasons?
Yeah, like so with him, growing up like as a kid, like being a father, a sneakerhead father, you would always buy like sizes up, whatever, whatever. So he would have like a whole stack, whatever, ready for him to get into grade school and whatnot. But then he sort of like, I would say when he started getting into like the bigger sizes, then he would be like, I want to wear these ones instead and whatever. So I was like, whatever you want to wear them. Like, don't worry about like, whatever other people think or whatever
Mhm.
other people say. If you think they're dope, then wear them. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that I tried to like, pitch to him, and however he wanted to dress, whatever, you don't really have to be influenced by anybody. Just be you. Like for me to tell him that, and it shines with him. Like he's got his own personality, and whatnot. He's not too heavy into sneakers nowadays, because he discovered gaming. Um, so everything he wants is for his computer and whatever. But he does for ball season especially. It just started for him, and he made rep teams. So now he's sort of like getting back into like the ball shoes now. Like even back in the day, like before the pandemic, when he was like heavy into ball, he was like all about the Kyries, and Kyries like they came out like crazy, sort of like collabo looking shoes, like with the Tiffany ones, the Tiffany Kyrie fours that they had. Like he when he saw those, he was like, "You have the same shoes as these, no?" And then he remembers like like I have the SBs, the
Right.
the Tiffs. So he's like, I want to wear the Tiff fours, the Kyrie fours. And back then he was like, I don't know, 9, 8, or 10 or something like that. But he just remembers he could pick up on nicknames of shoes and whatnot. So yeah, man, like I said, like we preach to like me and my wife, we preach to him like just wear whatever you want. Um and just whatever catches your eye, and when we went shopping for ball shoes, he picked up I think it's I forgot the name of them, but they're Kyrie Kyrie sixes now. Kyrie something.
Now it's at 7.
Seven. So I think it was the Kyrie sixes then. It was like a peach colored. I think it's the one day or I forget what it's called. But yeah, he reached for those instead of the Doncic, like the Jordan ones. Like he tried on the Doncic ones and he was like, "Well, these are comfortable. These are comfortable." But then
The
he
Jordan 36,
gravitated.
you mean? Or
The lows. Was it the lows? The 36?
yeah, yeah, 30, the blue.
It's like
The,
a white. It was a white with like a mint green kind of sole. It was a low. It was a Luca. I don't know if it's a
don't remember those,
36.
but anyway, yeah.
Or
So
maybe
he
it's a
went for the.
35s. I don't know what it was.
Okay,
But
yeah, maybe.
anyways, he went for the Kyries instead because he gravitated towards Kyries because for him it was all about like the whole lateral cuts for him and whatever. So it was more grippy for him. So like he picks and chooses what he wants to wear. Like you know what I mean?
That's good, man.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, man, for him, that's it. Like, just do whatever you want to do as long as you get your good grades.
Yeah, grades first, shoes
Yeah,
second,
man,
but
for real. Like shoes, no problem. Like we can always we can always come across shoes.
yeah.
Like when we go to the outlets, he'll go straight to like the clearance joints. Like he's got that knack for him. Like he'll find something that he likes, and sure enough, it'll be something pretty dope.
Like I look on social media and I see all these young teenagers and stuff like that. They're just dropping thousands of dollars on these hype resale pairs, and I'm thinking like, if I ever become like a father, and like I don't know, man. Like I'm scared of if
Yeah,
my kid
man,
becomes like that. Like
for real. You
hell
know
no.
what?
Like
You know what's funny though, because when he had made the rep team, me and my wife, we actually we did take him to bought the Kyries, whatever. When he saw the price of the shoes, because he wasn't really looking at the price when he
mm,
was trying them on. When he saw the price when we cashed out, he was like in awe. He was like, "Why did you guys spend so much?" So it's like for us, it's like it's a feel good for us. Like, oh, like he knows.
you raised him the right way, which
Yeah,
is
he
good.
knows the value. He knows the value of money, right? But then he'll drop like $5 on a computer, on a piece of paper's computer. So
That's another story. We'll leave that
yeah,
to
we'll leave that. We'll leave
video
that.
game podcast. We're just
Yeah,
talking
for
about
real,
sneakers here.
for real.
That's amazing, man. But
That's
yeah, like
jokes.
kudos to you and Marianne for like obviously doing a great job raising him, and
Appreciate that, man.
you
All
know,
love.
like I've seen you guys firsthand. Like he's been at
Yeah,
the conventions and the shows, so like
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
really
He's like
good kid.
a team mascot.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, man. So Joel, like I don't want to take up too much more of your time. If
mm.
our listeners want to find you on socials, where can they find you?
They can find me at Joe Dooney, JO_D3OsNEY, and then you can also find me behind Canada Got Soul at Canada Got Soul, all one word. So yeah, check us out, man.
Cool. And for myself, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/SeanGo. I am on Instagram at esco8 and on Twitter at Sean.go spelt out. So Joel, thank you, man, so much. I know it's early in the morning on a
Appreciate that,
Saturday.
man. I wake
Appreciate
up
you.
early in the morning for you, bro.
Appreciate that, yo.
Yeah, man.
To another 10 years, hopefully, and
Yeah, let's do it,
more
Roshi.
back alley van meetups.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right, man. And thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been episode 29 of the Channel 8 podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.